What is going on, fellas, and welcome back to episode 6 of the Director of Football Journeyman with our second club of the journey, Angers. As you can see, we're still in charge, which, if you said to me at the end of the last episode that we'd still be in charge now, would not have believed you. But we've been better. We also did almost leave in January. We had 2 clubs from Russia. I can't remember which ones. I remember Ural was one. I don't remember the other one. But they couldn't afford the compensation to take me away from Angers. So we're still here. Slightly more stable in our position. I did ask to lower the compensation to leave the club, and they said no. So C+, as you can tell, things have been going ever so slightly better. Knocked out of the French Cup, they're not happy about that. But then again, we did play a very good team in the 10th round, which was Leon. Never really stood a chance, to be fair. But everything else, it's getting better. It's getting there. We did fix the club atmosphere. Like I said, we were going to get rid of some of the troublemakers, and we did. Nobody hates me anymore, which is fantastic. We've no highly influential players. That's a little bit of an issue, but we actually have players that like us now. So, happy days. We're taking on Saint Etienne today, who are currently sitting bottom of the league. We are up to a staggering 16th, like dizzying heights of 16th in the league. But that just shows that we're doing things better now. Transfer window wise, we've been busy. Lucas Acosta, who I made vice captain, wanted to leave. So he left for Talleres in Argentina. So he is going home already. He's only been at the club he'll be at the club a year, more or less, before he goes back to Argentina. He was in the club for such a short period of time. Barely left Argentina, and he's gone back. 9 appearances, 22 conceded. That was not good enough. He didn't want to be at the club anymore. Everton clubs were coming in to loan him. I think the director of football put him on the loan, or I'm not 100% sure what happened here. Everton went and had people coming in to try and loan him. We have a couple of other players that are going to be joining, like Prince Reed from South Africa. It's just a brave DM. We'll see how he gets on. He's got a 68 scout rating so far, but he's only 50% scouted. And Ivan Illich is joining from Man City, currently on loan at Crystal Palace at the end of his contract. He's never played for Man City. No, he has not. To be expected. He looks decent. Like, his technique is between 15 and 18. Decisions between 12 and 15. Balance 13 and 17. This guy could be a good playmaker for next season. We'll have to wait and see on that. But transfers that have happened. Oh, it's been busy. Since the start of January, we have had slight issues with registration, which, fantastic. But we brought in Mark Singer, Hungarian, who is in our second team because he's centre back. We also signed Arūnas Stankovičius, Lithuanian 17-year-old, who is an attack midfielder. We're going to get him to be a central midfielder. I think he's got something about him. Came from Lithuania, obviously, because he's Lithuanian. Well, not necessarily, obviously, but he looks a decent prospect for the future. We also brought in Marco De Gracca, an Italian striker who started his career at Palermo before going to Juventus. Was at Genoa for a couple of seasons. He's joined us, as you can see, 3 games, 3 goals. He has been on fire. We also went and got... I'm only going to show you the players, actually, that are in the first team, because there's no point in telling you about players that aren't in the first team, because they're not going to get many games. We did sign a guy from Cagliari, who is in our under-19s. Probably not. He's in the B team. Inuit Anashe is a Romanian centre-back who looks quite good. He's played a couple of games for us so far. He's played a 6.65. We've played some decent teams though, but he looks pretty good. We signed Clayton from Bra. Not sure who Bra is, but we signed for him from them. He's a goalkeeper. He is exceptional, so much better than all our other goalkeepers. I was quite delighted with that one. Unfortunately, we did have an issue with the non-EU players. So this guy who signed Gabriel Furtado would have been up there for starting centre backs. Signed from the Palmeiras. He's had to go out on loan because we don't have room in our team for him. So I put him on the loan list once he arrived. Willem Gebels has joined us as an important player. Was released by Monaco. Surprised when he came up because I completely forgot that this guy even existed. But he is in our first team. He's only come off the bench once so far. Not really done an awful lot. Then we signed Nathan, another centre-back, another Brazilian centre-back. But this guy is a lot better than all our starting centre-backs. So he is definitely in for the long haul. He was on loan at Cannes a couple of years ago. He's been on loan at Seattle. He's been on loan at Portugal and LAFC for a couple of seasons as well. So we're bringing in a bunch of random players, I suppose. That was the day the transfer or the squad registration had to be finalised. So I was thinking, we're not going to make any more signings because we can't register any more players. Little did I know, my director of football had other ideas. We spent 2.9 million on Andy Zaquiri from Brighton. So he can't play because he's not registered. He's only a squad player, so he's not going to be looking for too much football. But from Brighton, where he's only scored one goal this year. One thing I didn't mention, Brighton won the FA Cup last year. So that was a surprise. We also signed David Celis, who's just a random young player who's going to sit in our under 20s or B team, whatever you want to call him, second team. Ali Garbi came as well, same thing. And Mahir Emrili is an Azerbaijan striker / winger who we signed from Sassuolo, but we can't register him because, again, outside the registration window, and it makes no sense. Why is the registration window close before the end of the transfer window? It makes no sense. So we have two strikers who are two strikers / wingers who can't actually play for us in the team. They're both squad players, so they're not going to expect much game time. I do envision that being an issue. That was deadline day. So we brought in 4 players on deadline day. Couldn't register any of them. But our January was relatively busy. The end of the last year, the American central midfielder that joined us earlier in the summer, he went to Colorado Springs on loan. How's he actually getting on? He hasn't played yet. Fantastic. He was never going to make it into the first team because of the non-EU rule. Stefan Bohokin, who I think we played him like twice. Nope, gave him one game. He threw a hissy fit, and Zulte Vargan came in and offered nothing for him, and the director of football accepted it. So that was annoying because he was worth a little bit of money. Cawley went to Ghent for 5 million. So we made a tasty little profit on a player that never really played for us. Played 3 games and he was terrible. So I was kind of happy with that. Then the big troublemaker, Ferrarasi, has gone to China for 5.25 million. Made a nice little bit of profit off him. Was a starting centre back. So that was where I was slightly weary because other than him and Sagnan, we only kind of had young players who were potentially going to be good at some point in their careers, but not quite yet. Ndidi was a random player I'd never heard of. He's gone to Brentford. Bufal also went to China, this time 5.5 million. The director of football rejected a 13 million pound offer for him in the summer, so 5.5 million. He has gone also a troublemaker. Camille Elkit, again, player I had no idea even existed. He went away. Furtado went out on loan to Le Havre, as I said. Bermond went out on loan. To be fair, that's actually probably really good for him because he is a decent left back / centre back. Indeed, he's a decent centre back. And Mamiri, again, not a player, no idea who he was. He's gone out, or he's left for Troyes. for a tasty little 45k. So we're taking on bottom of the league, as I said, and we are looking to do the business today. So this is how we're lining up. I actually never showed you the form we've been in. So since the last episode, which was against Toulouse, which, as I said, we couldn't afford to lose, and then we lost 5-1, we went and beat Pau 2-1, which was very, very, very difficult for a team that are in the division below. No, not even the team below. Division below. 2 divisions below us. Struggled in that game. We went and beat Brest 2-1. We were lucky. De Gracia scored on his debut, which was fantastic. Then we got beaten by Leon. Never really stood a chance, to be fair. They scored twice in 2 minutes, and I kind of went, oh no, we are in trouble. But then we went and beat Montpellier 3-0. El Bilal Toure scoring a brace. And then we just beat second in the league, Marseille, 3-0. Pusic, Pereira Lage, and De Marsa all getting goals for us in those games. So they were second in the league at the no, were they? I don't know. The second or third. They're up there. We're up to 16th. That's all that's important. So for this game, we are starting. Is this the team that I want to pick? Norrington Davies. He's angry, and I'm not sure why. So he's out of the team today. We're starting with Clayton in goal. Orvech and Pedraza as our wingbacks. Inache and Nathan as our centre backs. Schallenberg, Pereira Lage, and Pusic as our central midfield. Toure, De Graca, and Goebbels is going to start up front because Alois, his recent form's been quite good, but he's been bang average the last couple of games. He just had 2 games where he was really good in. He's not really been great other than that. Is there anyone on not in the first team, or not in the team that I want to put on the bench? Kind of feel like Fossum or Aranis are just kind of like interchangeable, really. They're fairly similar players. The only change is going to be Goebbels and Alois swapping out for today's game. That was a substitution I made in the last game. Anyway, I just want to give Willem Goebbels a chance to run about the place. Saint-Étienne have Fraser Forster starting a goal for them. Manquillo. Kulidetsky as their left back. Decoure. I'm surprised they're struggling. They've Stefan Bajic sitting on their bench. I think Bajic, I'll probably start him at this stage. Because Baba Rahman sitting on their bench as well. Mead, you've been on your back for a while. Let's go out there and do things to make them not do that. Yeah, boy. Give a bit of faith to nobody's. Okay, Toure motivated from our conversation, but the rest of them could not care less. So we're jumping into this game, hoping more so than anything that we can just kind of slot a couple of goals past them. We are playing positive. I've kind of rotated the 4-3-3 between positive and balanced and cautious. I've been kind of those 3 been really what I've been using to really just kind of depending on what team we're playing against. So because we're playing against a team that are struggling, going to go up, be positive. Against Marseille, we were cautious, and we've just let their team run through, and we are lagging ever so well, struggling. I'm not sure why. I don't want to see that again. That was terrible. Can I encourage the lads again? I can. They're on the attack again, but Nathan heads clear. Nathan had a really good a decent debut against Marseille. If he gets beaten around the place by Saint-Étienne, I'm going to be super disappointed. Inache misses his header, and we are now 2 down. So we're going to go attacking. I've already encouraged the lads. I'm going to scream at them if they don't get their act together rather soon. Again, another throw, but this time Pusic gets there. Can he slot it away? Almost does, but their defender just gets there before it crosses the line, and now we are still 2 down. This is not what I was expecting to bring you back to. I would have shown you the okay, we're going to pause it for a second. I would have shown you the Marseille game, but we still had a bit of the transfer window to go, and I didn't think that it was a good idea to come back before the end of the transfer window. Toure dinks it across. Pereira Lage slots it past the keeper. It is 2-1, and Pereira Lage second goal of the season. Things are starting to look ever so slightly better. Our backline is not having a great time. Our strike force not having a great time. Nathan's having a decent game, but Pedraza and Oravec struggling ever so slightly. We do have Fila on the bench, so Oravec might want to get his shit together. I'm going to pump fists. No, I'm actually going to thrash my arms. I am far from pleased with that, which has motivated everybody. Is there anyone I need to take on? And actually, struggling ever so slightly. We do have... We could swap Oravec over, play him as the centre back and bring on Fila, or just bring on Sagnan instead. Schallenberg is on the ball for the first time and he's won a penalty. That's an obvious penalty. Not even going to bother questioning it. Definitely a penalty. Definitely a penalty. Penalty. The referee is reviewing the incident. And he's given it. Of course he has. Of course he has. Who's stepping up to take our penalty? Toure. Slots at home. 2-2. I don't really know what to... I kind of want to shout at them, but I'm not sure what to shout. Because we're 2-2. So if I give them encouragement, they're going to be like, but we're doing really well already. Okay. Saint Etienne have the start of the highlight. Why is nobody pressing? Press him. Press him. We're playing a 4-3-3 gegenpress. Schallenberg wins the ball back. Perlage. De Grassa, who's been non-existent in this game. It's disappointing. He's been quite good since he arrived. He's just been not at the races today. We are going to chuck a little encourage at them, which has fired them up. Fantastic. I was weary that they were going to turn around and be like, "Oh, we're playing really well, boss," but you're not. We're going to make a change now. I'm going to swap Toure over to this side. Gabels is going to come off. No, De Grassa is going to come off for Aliuli. Gabels, you don't really want to be pressing forward? Does Toure want to be? Toure can be pressing forward. So swap him over there. Pedraza, we don't have a left back on the bench. Orvik, you're not playing well, so we're going to bring on Fila. We are going to leave it at that for now. Gabels might be the next to get taken off. He's not been in great form, and that was quick loss. Pusic is dying, according to my assistant, so I should probably consider taking him off. He's not been amazing, but Schallenberg's not been great either. So what I think we're going to do, Pierre Leish can go to Mazzella. Pusic can... Schallenberg's going to come off for Ivor Fossum. That is what we're going to do. We're going to demand more, which has fired the lads up. I don't really want to get a draw, so we're going to throw caution to the wind for the final couple of minutes, and it's ended 2-2. So we were terrible in the first half, picked it up in the second half, but just couldn't get the winner, which Gabel's 6.4. I feel like I shouldn't have started him. I feel he's potentially just going to be an option off the bench. Not happy with the performance out there. It's motivated everybody, hands on the hips. You know. Could have done better, lads. You should have done better. I'm disappointed that you didn't. And actually, hopefully he's not going to be one that gets stage fright. And Pedraza's been one of our most consistent performers. And he struggled today, and I'm not sure why. It may be because he knows that Norrington Davies was left out of the team because he was after throwing a strop. And he's like, oh, I don't need to play well because he's not going to bring in the English guy who next season probably won't be here. Because, interestingly, next season, there's only going to be 2 non-EU players eligible to play in or to be registered. I'm not looking forward to that. Pedraza is 5 appearances away from us having to pay Nice 1.7 million. Pusic is 5 appearances away from us having to pay Torino almost $1 million. Could potentially run out of money fairly quickly. We did get a whole bunch of money for Ait Nouri playing 20 games at Crystal Palace, nearly 7 million. So I'm quite happy with that. And as you can see, club atmosphere and managerial support are up. Team cohesion is still average. And I'm not sure why, because the team's been doing quite well recently. But like I said, hierarchy, the players don't hate us anymore. A couple of players don't support us as much as they did previously. But we've made Pierre Lege is our captain and Alois is now our vice captain. So we have 2 team leaders leading the team, which is what you'd want. And we don't have to worry too much about what is going on in the ranks at the moment. So I think for the next game, we come back for Len. Do we come back for Len? I don't really know if we come back for Leon, because they're just going to slap us. So I think we come back for Len. Maybe. We have 3 players unregistered. Or do we come back for Wigan? Actually, no. Fuck it. We come back for Len, because I don't want to go too far ahead. And we should have our youth intake somewhere around here. And this time I'll actually remember to show you the youth intake, because we have had our preview and it looks meh. There's a lot of wingers coming through. We don't play with wingers at the moment. At least one of the centre backs looks promising. And he is from Safi. Not Safe, Safi. Other than that, then, don't have anything else. Don't expect much from this youth intake. I don't, because youth intakes generally aren't that good. But how are our facilities? We have a great youth facilities, but adequate academy coaching and average youth recruitment. So, not a whole lot. I think, didn't I? Yeah, we're improving youth facilities. So, that should come true eventually. Hopefully. It's due to be finished in October. Interesting. So, with all that being said, if you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share with all of your friends. And I'll see you in the next one.